Sugarcane varieties play a vital role in the economic viability of the sugar industry. It is the pivot around which entire production system revolves. In this regard, PHILSURIN is continuously pursuing its mandate of developing better and improved high-yielding varieties for the industry. Variety development is the focal area of research of the PHILSURIN Sugarcane Variety Improvement Program since its inception in 1997. Its mandate is to develop genetically improved varieties that will have a positive impact on the sugar industry. Historically, the breeding program started with the research group of the Victoria's Milling Company. Currently, 300 to 600 crosses are made annually at the sugarcane breeding facilities of PHILSURIN in Victoria City, Negros Occidental. This begins a process of selection, advancement, and testing spanning a period of 8 to 13 years and culminating with the release of the new sugarcane varieties for the planters. The basics of the variety improvement program followed by PHILSURIN based on the VMC research and development has been in place for several decades. However, procedures and techniques have evolved and improved over the years. How do we recommend varieties? The method of testing, screening, and selection involves the following: crossing the best high-yielding parent varieties, subjecting their offspring to tough performance tests, recommending for commercial planting only the most superior strains. The process of developing a variety can be compared to the flow of water through a pipe with a series of filters at a certain point, and the size of the pipe is reduced in progression at each filter. The breeding team controls the filter points through selection stages and release meetings. The risk of this system is when the control points are not consistent with each other and that of the end user. Thus, evaluation of promising varieties is jointly done by the breeders, agronomists, pathologists, and planters. Since its establishment in 1997, PHILSURIN has registered and released a total of 18 commercial varieties. Registered with the National Seed Industry Council in 2002 were the 7 VMC varieties that were extensively tried nationwide by PHILSURIN. In 2005, 2 PHILSURIN selections or PS varieties were released for specific locations. In 2007, PHILSURIN came out with the first 2 releases from its breeding pipeline. 3 foreign varieties were also extensively tested and were recommended for commercial planting. The 3 PSR 2000 series were also released in 2009. New HYVs now account for more than 84% of the area grown to sugarcane, with PHILSURIN, VMC, and foreign varieties accounting for almost 70%. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, PHILSURIN once again takes pride in presenting 3 new high-yielding varieties. These are PSR 01105, PSR 02247, and PSR 01136. The yield performance evaluation of PSR 01105 includes the preliminary yield trial in 4 sites and 2 advanced yield trials in 10 and 9 sites respectively. The yield evaluation lasted for 7 years, from December 2005 until December 2012. On the other hand, the yield performance evaluation of PSR 02247 and PSR 01136 includes the preliminary yield trial in 4 sites and 2 advanced yield trials in 11 and 9 sites respectively. The yield trials for these 2 varieties lasted 6 years, from December 2006 to December 2012. Yield and adaptability testing were done in several locations. The preliminary yield trials were conducted in 4 locations, while the advanced yield trials were planted in 11 sites with distinct weather pattern, soil types, and disease occurrence. Harvest data were statistically analyzed using ANOVA. Coefficient of variation ranged from 3 to 17%. The gain-even-loss tally was also done to determine the overall statistically higher, similar, or lower yields of the new varieties compared to the check varieties. Finally, the GGE biplot analysis is used to determine what variety is specifically outstanding in a particular district and what variety would respond to additional inputs. For the performance of these new varieties, let's take a look first at PSR 01105. From 24 plant trials and 23 retunes, PSR 01105 showed an overall higher tonnage compared to PHIL 8013 and the local check from both the plant and retune crops. In LKGTC, it was slightly lower compared to both check varieties. This proves that this variety is only moderately high in sweetness. However, in sugar yield, it showed better LKG per hectare compared to both check varieties from both the plant and retune crops. The gain-even-loss tally showed that PSR 01105 has several gains or statistically higher yields in terms of tons of canes per hectare and LKG per hectare compared to both check varieties from both the plant and retune crops. The GGE biplot analysis shows that PSR 01105 is a versatile variety that could adapt to varied soil types, having shown better sugar yield compared to any of the checks in 10 out of 11 sites. For the performance of PSR 02247 in 24 plant trials and 23 retunes in 12 sites. Overall tons of canes per hectare of PSR 02247 was generally comparable with the checks in the plant crop, but better compared to the local check in the retune. PSR 02247 is a sweet cane as shown by its similar LKGTC with the local check from both the plant and retune crops. In sugar yield, it is generally comparable with the checks in the plant crop, but better compared to the local check in the retune. When compared with the individual local checks, PSR 02247 was almost similar in sugar yield with VMC 86550 in the plant crop, lower compared to VMC 84947 and slightly higher versus VMC 84524 and VMC 7139. In the retune, it was higher compared to VMC 86550 but was generally lower compared to the three other local checks. For the performance of PSR 01136 in 24 plant trials and 23 retunes in 12 sites. PSR 01136 showed generally comparable tons of canes per hectare with the checks in the plant crop but was higher compared to the local check and the retune. In LKGTC, it was comparable with PHIL 8013. And in LKG per hectare, it was comparable with PHIL 8013 but higher than the local check and the retune. When compared with the individual local checks, PSR 01136 showed lower sugar yield versus VMC 86550 and VMC 84947 in the plant crop, but it was higher over VMC 84524 and VMC 7139. In the retune, it was generally higher over all the local checks. For the agronomic characteristic and disease reaction, the following are the important traits of each variety. PSR 01105 is a progeny of VMC 821180 by VMC 84928. It is a semi-fast-growing cane with average to moderately high tillering and average stalk size and is also non-flowering. Its other positive advantage is that it was noted to thrive well in a high water table area in the Hawaiian-Philippine Company Mill District. This variety shows field resistance to a complex of foliar diseases, except for a natural smut incidence in some areas where inoculum pressure is relatively high. PSR02247 is a progeny of LCP85384 by VMC 90239. It is erect to reclining, highly self-detrashing, and non-tasseling. It is a product of infusing superior foreign lines LCP85384, the sweet and good ratooning cane of Louisiana that had covered 91% of their sugarcane acreage in 2004. PSR02247 inherited its sweetness and showed consistently high in LKGTC. This variety has a good disease package. However, depending on the level of disease pressure, smut infection to some degree may be occasionally observed. PSR02247 is observed not adapted to heavy clayey soils as in Bugo and some portions of San Carlos. It showed higher sugar yield in areas planted to VMC 86550. PSR01136 is a progeny of VMC 84947 by VMC 84928. Like VMC 84947, it exhibited purple stalks, heavy tillering, erect to reclining, and is non-flowering. It showed moderately high to high tonnage and sweetness. This variety has an adequate disease resistance to major diseases. PSR01136 is adapted to varied soil types and had shown good ratoon performance. It is best adapted to districts where it had shown higher sugar yield over any of the checks as in Victorias, Davao, Tarlac, Bugo, and Hawaiian Philippine Company. PSR01105 is recommended for release in districts where it had performed better in LKG per hectare. These are in 10 out of the 11 test sites: Hawaiian Philippine Company, VMC, Lopez, San Carlos, Capiz, Pasig, Bugo, Bukidnon, Davao, and Tarlac. This variety has good disease rating except that it has shown susceptibility to smut in areas where inoculum pressure is high as in San Carlos and Hawaiian Philippine Company. For PSR02247, this variety is recommended as an alternative variety for areas dominated by VMC 86550 because it is comparable in sugar yield with this check in the plant crop but is higher over it in the ratoon. These are in Hawaiian Philippine Company, Victorias, and Bukidnon. It could also be planted in selected parts of San Carlos and Lopez Mill districts where the soils are sandy loams and not clay. Lastly, the PSR01136 thrives well under varied sugarcane growing areas and has good ratoon performance in some locations. It is recommended in specific districts, namely Victorias, Hawaiian Philippine Company, Davao, Tarlac, and Bugo. Variety development is a multidisciplinary, long and costly process. Long-term forward planning and strategizing are necessary to effectively breed and select varieties that will be released in just 7 to 8 years. Nevertheless, new varieties are continuously evolved by PHILSURIN. Improved varieties are now available for almost all growing conditions in the milling district. It would therefore be worthwhile for the sugarcane planter to manipulate the environment in such a way as to bring the maximum expression of the yield potential possessed by these varieties. The availability of more varieties to choose from should also encourage the planter to diversify his farm by planting more than just one variety, a sound management practice. By working together and planning today, we can continue to meet the needs of a modern agricultural industry and develop varieties that will have a greater chance of commercial success in the future. These varieties were released through the concerted efforts of the whole PHILSURIN SVIP group, who continuously work as a team from hybridization, testing, screening, and evaluation until the varieties were released. And we wish to acknowledge the support and assistance extended by the MDDC coordinators in their respective test sites. Madamo gid nga salamat.